What is up? What is going on, everybody? I am back with the Mariners post-game recap part 2 because we got something to talk about. George Kirby had some interesting comments to make post-game. I didn't see them until after I uploaded my first video. Otherwise, I just would have put it in there. But I thought it was important enough that I wanted to address it. So if you guys are new here, hit the like button and subscribe as well. Sorry for making this 2 videos, not trying to get more clicks or more views or anything like that. I mean, I always am, but truthfully, this is probably going to hurt the algorithm for my first video, to be perfectly honest. But I wanted to address it. So George Kirby's comments after the game were, I wish I wasn't out there for the 7th, to be honest. Talking about going back out there for the 7th inning. I was at 90 pitches. I didn't think I needed to go any more. I also watched the video because sometimes quotes can be taken a little out of context. You want to hear them say it. I've seen so many times where coaches say something in a quote, and then you go and watch the video, and it's like, that wasn't that bad. No, Kirby seemed pretty staunch and adamant that he should not have been back out there for the 7th. A lot of people defending Kirby, a lot of people defending Scott. Whether you think it was the right or wrong decision to send him back out there based on the game situation, whatever. That's not really what I'm going to address in this video. I want to address the comments specifically. I want to be very clear. I'm an out of shape, almost 40-year-old guy. If I were to go through an inning of baseball, I'd give up 27 runs and my arm would likely fall off. I'm not trying to say that I would go out there and battle through it. George Kirby is a million times the athlete I am, but I am going to be critical of what he said. First and foremost, that stuff needs to stay private. That is not something that needs to be displayed publicly. If he wants to go into Scott's office and be upset, he has every right to do that. Manager and player need to have that relationship where they can talk about things openly. That's what it's for. It does not need to be aired publicly. One thing I really respect about Seattle's coaches, Scott Service, Pete Carroll, the 2 teams I follow the most, I know there's other Seattle coaches, is that they're very good at keeping things in-house that need to be kept in-house. They don't air the dirty laundry publicly. No matter what you think of Scott, no matter what you think of Pete, you might say, oh, no, I think they're terrible. That's fine. You don't have to like either one of them. But they do a good job of not airing dirty laundry. A lot of coaches do. We've seen a lot, and it's really bad for the clubhouse when coaches air dirty laundry. Same thing goes for players. They need to keep the laundry, in-house. Second of all, I'm sorry, George, suck it up and pitch. I'm sorry. You can yell at me and say, Jay, come on, man. But no, I'm sorry. I don't care. You guys know I'm an analytical guy. I use all the data. I use all of it. But sometimes I'm a little old school. And this is a case where I'm old school. George Kirby was at 93 pitches. He was not at 110, 115. He was not pitching in 130-degree heat in the sweltering, humid Chicago summer. He was in an air-conditioned stadium. He was at 93 pitches. The top arms in the bullpen are gassed. Munoz and Brash could not go tonight. You had Spire and Topa, but you're trying to get Kirby through 7 to get to them. Okay? Not the end of the world that he was asked to go out there for 7th. Again, you can disagree with sending him back out there. That's fine. But in terms of that mentality, no. I want my pitchers wanting to go back out there. I want my pitcher taken out going, man, I thought I had another inning in me. At least if you air that, I can respect you wanting to battle and go back out there. But to go out there and say, I should have been taken out of the game, come on. Luis Castillo did it yesterday at 93 pitches, didn't complain. Andres Munoz and Matt Brash have pitched in 3 straight games coming into tonight. They didn't complain. Eugenio Suarez, who he's been scuffling a little bit, nice game tonight, has begged this coaching staff so he could play 162 games. He was mad that he had to sit 1 game. And Kirby can't go back out there at 93 pitches. George Kirby missed a start last week because he was sick. Totally fair. Totally fine. It shouldn't be pitching if he's sick. Next start out 8 days later against the Mets, pitched terribly. Only went 3 innings. 5 days later makes a start and is mad that he had to go back out there at 93 pitches. Come on. Now listen, if he had something like he had told Scott, and I don't know what conversations took place. I don't. So maybe he told Scott his arm was hurting. And if that's the case, then fair. I'll give him a little bit of pass. And George Kirby's a young pitcher. I'm not worried about this long term or anything like that. But I'm sorry, no. You can go back out there. You're fine. I'm all for taking pitchers out and not having them throw 120. I think those days are done, and that's a good thing. I think you're going to help preserve pitchers' arms as best you can in a sport where you're throwing the ball overhand and just a lot of damage can happen to arms, regardless of how many innings they throw. But I'm sorry, at 93 pitches, dude, tough, man. Go back out there and get 3 outs. You're in the middle of a pennant race, and you wanted to come out of a game? I just don't think that's a good look. I'm sorry. I don't think that is a good look for a pitcher at all. To be like, yeah, I should have come out. Again, I get the first inning was really stressful through 31 pitches by his own fault. Like, that's on him. Maybe the fly ball that dropped in wasn't really Kirby's fault. Listen, Kirby threw 9 innings against Baltimore and battled and couldn't get a run support. I get there being some frustration, but that's baseball. Like, sometimes you're not going to get a hit. Sometimes you're not going to get a run. Sometimes you're going to get shelled as a pitcher. That's going to happen. But to have a mentality that you want to come out after 6 innings at 93 pitches, I mean, where's Marco? Marco would have gone back out there. I bet Robbie Ray would love to be out there right now. I'm not saying that Marco healthy would be replacing George Kirby in the rotation. George is having a great season. I love George Kirby. I'm not at all down on him at anything. He's young. He made a comment. It happens. It wasn't even probably that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. But I'm sorry. I think that's an unacceptable comment, and Scott needs to sit him down and tell him you don't air that publicly. That needs to be done privately in the coaches' meeting. There was no reason Kirby couldn't pitch 7 innings tonight. It was not an impossible task. Luis Castillo was sent out there with 93 pitches yesterday. I know not every pitch is the same. Like, 93 pitches for one pitcher can be different than 93 pitches for another pitcher. Okay, so I get it. But I'm sorry. I don't like it. I think it's just kind of I'm going to say it, I think it's kind of a weak mentality to have. I do. And I don't like that look from George Kirby at all. At all. I don't like it being aired publicly, and I don't really like the comment about it. I'd rather have it be the other way. Like, if Kirby got through the 7th at 103 pitches, and he was on there saying, man, I wish Scott would have given me one more. I thought I could have done it. I really did. I'd be like, listen, yeah, a little dirty laundry, but the Bulldog mentality is there. That's it. You know, hey, I want to go pitch more. You probably shouldn't at that many pitches, but I get it. But to say I should have come out at 93 pitches like he threw 128, I mean, are we got to that point where guys just can't throw? I get it. I do. I'm not saying we should be throwing 130 pitches anymore. But man, have we just gotten to that point where 93 is like, ooh, can't go back out there. I got 93 pitches. Come on. Like, we got to toughen up a little bit. Am I wrong? You guys tell me what you think in the comments down below. I thought it was kind of a weak comment. I'm going to get over it. I don't think it's going to matter in the future. Kirby's a good pitcher. I'm sure he's a good guy. I'm sure him and Scott will have a conversation. It's going to be squashed. But that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, go Mariners. Hit the like and subscribe button for me, and I will see you guys tomorrow for hopefully just one post-game recap. Peace.